Here we are in the shed. For those of you who did watch our last video, I am planning on taking my standard old XL650V Transalp. Going to take the front end off and put this on. This is the Boano carbon fibre Rally Fairing. Now the reason I'm doing it is not to make the bike go faster or anything like that, it's just to basically make it a bit easier to work on. We've got twin headlights. That's going to be the cockpit, which I've got a few good ideas for that. But yeah, so here's the fairing itself. The standard original fairing is 3 or 4 pieces. Just to service the bike, it's a real pain in the bum. You've got to take all sorts of things off it. So we're going to change that. So this one here is one piece. It'll be 4 or 5 bolts. The whole thing falls off, and away you go. So here's what we're starting with. This one here is a little bit beaten up, but yeah, there's a little piece missing there. But for the most part, still presentable. It's just yeah, it's just a bit beaten up. But the bike itself is good. I actually enjoy riding this bike. So we thought to ourselves, what the hell? Instead of wasting money on a new bike, and I've already got one that goes perfectly well, we'll just make this one better. So the final plan will be is once I've got the new fairing all fitted up, I'll send it into a local spray painter in town here and in Bundaberg and get it spray painted the same blue as the rest of the bike. That's the plan at this stage. Could change, who knows, nothing's set in concrete. This is just going to be a bit of a fun project. Okay, fairing's off. I actually got a bit lucky. My last video, I had a gentleman contact me and ask to buy my old fairings, even though they're a little rough. His must be even rougher. So a couple of fairings and a headlight with his name on it, so that's cool. And a few other little bits of plastic and stuff. But yes, there's how she looks, semi stripped down. Labelling wires as I take them off. Yeah, probably doesn't seem like a stupid idea. Okay, so we've got some plugs here. So yeah, I'll start taking the dash off now. And very goodly, off comes the dash, the instrument holder or whatever you want to call it, the binnacle. So off comes that. We'll put this over here into this very special spot. And then we've got this groovy little bit which goes on here somewhere. And once that's on, then I have to just figure out a way to neaten up this wiring and put the speedometer somewhere. I do have a DRZ 400 unit, which I may end up using if we can't get creative with the original. They're not a bad thing. I've got a spare one of these up in the back shed, which would be quite a neat little unit actually. So we'll see how that feels. So here we are, still in the shed, playing with the thing, and we've got it sitting on there. Nothing's tightened up, it's just to give me a bit of a general gist of things. It's got held on just with one bolt at the moment. Yeah, so, oh yeah, that's going to change things a lot, isn't it? And the cool part is the old bottom of the old fairing was down here somewhere, so you've got a heap of space up here. We may even have enough room for a nice little light bar or something. We'll see what happens there. Again, nothing's set in concrete at the moment. Yeah, she's pretty bloody cool. I'm a pretty happy boy with that. I think that's going to change the look of this bike. Alright, bit of an update. We have mounted the cockpit piece today and had to get a little creative mounting. I'm using the DRZ 400 instrument cluster. I don't know if you can see that in the light. So yeah, and of course the Zumo, that all mounts nice as up on here. It's actually quite nice having a blank canvas to play with. So that bracket goes there. The heated grips are going to go there. We've got a double USB here. I'm thinking very much about putting a toggle switch nearby here to flick it off and on, so I don't have to leave the key in the bike if I need to charge a phone or something like that. I can just flick the switch, because these actually have a little light in them which stays active all the time. So if the bike sits in the shed for a couple of weeks, it'll go flat. So yeah, so that's going to get mounted there, and yeah, it's going to look pretty bloody cool. I actually hooked that up to I don't know how well you can see it. We've had to put it to the side so that the speedo cable can get up here past the headlight. And I did a temporary connection up for that, just ran some power to it and connected it to the speedo cable and went for a ride with the Zumo with the GPS on, and it looks like it's about 2 kilometres out, so that's excellent. So basically the GPS was reading 59, the speedometer was reading 61, so yeah, I'm happy with that. It's I'll be honest, it's probably even better than it was on the DRZ, so cool. Everything else is all pretty self-explanatory. We've still got wiring to connect up and bits and pieces, but yeah, we're slowly getting there. Yeah, it's definitely starting to neaten up nicely. Alright, so here I am, just cruising through the forest at the moment, heading down to Gympie to catch up with my brother for the weekend for a bit of a ride. And yeah, here's the rally fairing all painted up, fitted to the bike. Yeah, really like it, really pleased with it. It's yeah, no, it really does suit the bike heaps better. I like the lines a lot better. Yeah, as you can see, I just had it painted the same colour as the original Transalp paint. Just threw some little dicky indicators on it. But yeah, so she's coming along quite well. I'm actually, yeah, I like it. It's a couple of little things I'll probably change a little. I'm getting a bit of buffeting, so I may end up trimming a little bit off here. We'll see what happens. There's a little bit of movement there, so I'll probably end up just running a brace with a strip of aluminium or something like that. We'll wait and see, but at the moment it's actually a good place to stash my hat, which seems to stop that, so happy days. Yeah, and that's her. So this is my old Honda Tourer. I'm a pretty happy boy right now, as you can imagine. Still got to finish off some wiring. Currently one headlight is on and one headlight comes on when the high beam comes on, which that's only because I've just plugged it in temporarily, and when my friend gets back from his holiday, we'll get a bit creative with the wiring and set it up how we want it, set up a temperature gauge and that sort of thing again. But currently I'm just carrying an extra couple of litres of fuel with me for like resetting the trip meter, which I've always done anyway, and I've just got a couple of litres with me just in case I come unstuck. But yeah, so that's her. She's cool. I'm actually trialling something a bit different to for this time round. I've got a Shinko 805 tyre on the rear. I usually run a Dunlop 606, so a bit more aggressive, but I don't get very many miles out of them. So apparently these things are pretty cool, so we'll give it a whirl. I'll let you know how that goes. Yeah, but no, other than that, the old Honda, she's looking cool. Yeah, yeah, I went with the rubber strip around the outside of it. Just makes it a bit easier to take it on and off too. Makes it a bit safer. That old silicone was because of the old bloody fairing used to vibrate and carry on, so that was just a blob of silicone to stop that. So yeah, so no, otherwise, yeah, no, quite good. There's a little bit of a gap between the fitment here, but this is handmade, this is factory, so you might find it also could be the way I fitted it too. I'm not a mechanic's bumhole by no means, so you might find I've done it wrong, but yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not too stressed. Everything else is working good. DRZ Speedo, funnily enough, is actually, according to the GPS, is closer to accurate than it is on this bike using the original Honda Speedo drive and Speedo cable than it was on the DRZ. On the DRZ, if you're doing 100 on the GPS, you're doing about 95 on the Speedo thereabouts. This is actually closer to, oh sorry, other way around. If you're doing 100 on the Speedo, you're doing about 95 on the GPS. Now it's probably closer to about 98. So funnily enough, yeah, it's actually closer to accurate, which, you know, same size wheel and everything. I can't, you know, anyway, joys of it, must be slightly different gear or whatever. But yeah, it's a bit of trivia. Other than that, she's looking good. I'm a happy boy.